Okay, so to the grade 9 pupils watching, their parents who are watching now, where can they go to get such useful assessments done?
All right. There's a whole network of econometric practitioners all over the country.
Okay.
Um, I think the easiest may be if you can share my contact details, they can contact me and I'll refer them to various ones all over the country and give them the information.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Another thing that may be useful, technology is actually a wonderful thing. And COVID was a bit of a drawback, but there's advantages. A lot of this can be done remotely. So I've been doing a lot of this assessments where I have students in the Cape. I've actually done some from Belgium the other day
Oh.
and all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, if I can help them or if they feel comfortable, it's a relationship.
Yeah, so
You're going to
need
have that
be-
once off assessment, but you're also going to build a relationship because you change as person. Yes, your value stays the same, but your interest may change.
Okay.
So it's something that you're going to build a relationship with. Okay.
Be sure to check the description box and we will leave Tia's contact details, and feel free to contact her for your or your child's assessment. Let's move on now to university. We all know that at some point people go to university. Not everyone, but it's a standard that people go to university. How does one pick the course?
Oh. Okay. So that will be completely different for each child. So there's a few factors that I take into account when I look at that. First of all, and that's really necessary, look at the family's social economic status.
Okay.
Okay? Look at what is the area in which you're interested and that will fit in with your values. And then you see if there's bursaries. So there's amazing websites with bursaries, and it changes every time, so I can't give you ones off. But you look at that. I think, and universities is good. It's really good if you can have that degree. But again, we need to understand we don't always have to compete with the Joneses.
Yeah.
There's other degrees, and we never stop studying. Things has changed. So again, taking the family's circumstances into account, finances, also what's the needs. There's a list that comes out every year of the top 10 most needed occupations, and that changes.
Yeah.
For instance, some years ago, artisans was a real need. It was really, it was a shortage. And then more people went into that.
No.
Now again, it's
or
not such a
enough.
shortage. So I also look at that list. It doesn't help to go into a job and you're not going to have one to study something. So all of those are taken into account. And then normally, one thing that I want to share with the grade 9s and with the parents, there's a lot of research to be done. But I have seen that if I give the guidance to the students and I tell them where to look, and then they come back and they say, yeah, I never knew about that. I didn't know about an occupational therapist. Or I didn't know about this career. And perhaps I'll just show you. This is a book that I use, and it's updated annually.
Okay.
And also with that list that I get from the government, because I'm a registered skills development facilitator.
Okay.
So I get all of that and I take that into account. And it's amazing. So the kids say, I didn't know about that, or the parents. And then you explain to them. And where it's possible through the years and the networks, if I have somebody that's, let's say, for instance, a nail technician or a beautician, I do sometimes say, okay, you know what, call this lady. Yeah, if you can go there over holidays and be with them.
And experience it and see if it's really what you like.
Yes, and I think that's one of your questions that came up that's coming up a little bit later. But I think that's the best thing to do. If you start, go and shadow with somebody. And normally most of us, my English is rotten today. Obviously you guys can all hear that I'm Afrikaans. But I want to say our exposure, that has a big influence on what we like.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, so if you have an aunt or uncle that you've seen that's a she officer, ask them if you can go. I love this take a girl child to work days and go with them. If you want to become a veterinarian, try and get in and see what it's all about. Go to Volleys where they volunteer. And I think one of your questions was also, what can you do that gives you that extra edge over and above a CV and an email?
Yeah.
Start volunteering. The more we give, the more we get. And often it's difficult to get into a company where you say, no, I'll work for free.
Yeah.
I'll work for free, just let me get the hours. Because they have certain risks. If you're on site there, even if you're unpaid,
It's a risk to them.
you're deemed to be a worker. So health and safety nowadays, you won't get in. But what about looking for NGO, where a non-profit organization, non-government organization, or even, I want to tell you that's the starting point, because opportunities that comes to us is through people that we're exposed to, where we sit. Don't be on your cell phone when everybody's sitting there lunchtime. Put it down. Talk to the people. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And engage with people. The more you engage, and not necessarily always to get something.
Yeah, that should not be your mission. Just go, learn about the next person, see what, just have an engagement.
Yes, you learn from people, and your whole life, it broadens and it widens, and you get to know all these beautiful people.
Yeah.
And I think that's where things start. We always think we're so goal-driven. Our whole society, we're goal-driven. I have to have the right subjects right now. What about just enjoying your school life a little bit? Passing well enough. You can always go and take that mathematics is an extra subject. There's free websites.
Yeah.
Alison.
Where you can actually see if this course is for you. Yeah.
That's a wonderful plan.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about these websites is you can do the course for free. And if you want to, you can get the certificate, then you pay for the certificate. It's Alison, there's Udemy, there's awesome ones. And there's a few things to be careful about. For instance, one of the companies, I've got a little girl, or young girl, she wants to go into accounting.
Okay.
Her company doesn't accept the Udemy courses. So just make sure.
All right. Just make sure before you do the payment that it is going to be useful.
And part of the career coaching, what we do is to set up a personal development plan for you.
Okay.
If you're going to run the conference, you're not going to run if you don't know where the end point is. And we tend to just start running. We just start taking these subjects. We start thinking university, applying all over. But what do you want to be?
What's the plan?
What is your goals? Are you somebody that wants to travel? Are you somebody that from when you were small that were thinking, oh, this Barbie, I want to be a mommy and I want to have 3 children.
Maybe you want to be a stay-at-home mom.
So that's going to have an influence. So we need to do that personal development plan to say, and that's one of the first things that I ask. And I don't just work with youngsters. I work with people in corporate. Corporate contacts me often. They might have somebody that they're busy doing performance reviews with, or that's not functioning well, that's having conflict with all their colleagues. And then I go in and I start with this. And what's your dream? Who are you? Where do you want to be? And working back from that and doing this assessment, I don't want to say 9 out of 10, but 7 out of 10. I was able to help that person and that company to utilize the person in another space. So let's start with who are you? Do you want to be? If you want to be a stay-at-home mom and you have to choose between a chef and a hairdresser.
Hairdresser will work. Yeah.
It will work with where you want to be.
What you want, yeah. Makes sense.
See, you shouldn't get me started on this.
So, if you are in a position where you don't know what to do for university, do that. Get to know yourself, get to know what you're about, what your interests are, and maybe you think you want to study finance or metallurgy. Go to Alison, go to Udemy, and check it out. Put yourself in that position, study it, see, and it's free, right? They're free.
It's free. The other thing is there's so much resources, career. All these websites where they advertise. Go and see what is there's an article that people do that you can see what's the most wanted jobs. I'm there to facilitate and I can help.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the money and you can't do it, guess what? I'm an extra resource. It's all there. It's all there for free.
Yeah.
The more you search, the answers are out there. And there's people that will get yourself a mentor, that uncle or that aunt that you like, and go with. Try to go and do as much possible. And volunteering is a good way to be exposed. Because yes, you might be volunteering to go to the dog shelter or to go into the areas, the rural areas where they have the dogs on chains or whatever the case may be. But you're going to be exposed to that person, that other volunteer that's next to you. And he or she may be a graphic designer or maybe doing something that you've never thought about. That's really the best advice I can give.
Yeah. So
unless the Lord will work His way for you.
Yeah, God will help out. Yeah. So there is a lot that is available for us, that's available for you, and don't limit yourself. And again, don't wait until you are writing your prelims in matric to make these decisions about what to do. Start now. Start in grade 9, start in grade 10, start as soon as possible. Use your school holidays, use your weekends to try and understand what you're about, to volunteer, to meet new people, to expose yourself to other people in different areas, and who knows, through that you might get to know yourself better, and you might